Tamworth by 3-0 here to advance into the fourth round of the FA Cup. Never in doubt, people. It was never in doubt as Tamworth took us all the way. We had to go to extra time against National League 16th place. Just got promoted from the National League North. We had to go all the way against them, 90 minutes. And they nearly scored right at the end of the 90th minute as well, which we were very lucky that we didn't lose that game. And it was a realistic chance that Tamworth win it. And I think by the end of it, 3-0 put a bit of gloss on the performance. It's probably the most embarrassing 3-0 win I've ever had to endure as a Tottenham Hotspur fan. And I was soaking hard throughout those 180 minutes. I really was. I was getting so stressed with what I was seeing. You're looking at Timo Werner. Timo Werner is on £160,000 a week. And he wouldn't look out of place in that Tamworth team. If he was setting up a clothes rack in Zara tomorrow, and the guy that they had on the left wing was playing for us, you probably wouldn't see too much of a difference,
The guy for Zara looked better, actually.
A lot better. Timo Werner should be stacking shelves at Zara. That's how he played today. And look, I can't. Brennan Johnson, he gets the goal at the end, but I thought he was pretty embarrassing and poor throughout the 120 minutes he was on the pitch. I mean, you're looking at good performers today. I thought Maddison was the only one real pressing the issue in the first half. Mikey Moore was doing some good work out on the left-hand side in the second half before he went off. And Kinski, I thought, he came out for the corners and he looked commanding for whenever the ball came into his box. But apart from that, I think everyone else was pretty embarrassing, to be fair.
It was an embarrassing performance overall. There's no getting away from it. We struggled to create real clear opportunities against a National League side. That's the truth of the matter. I know there's, you can say the pitch definitely was not in good condition. It was a terrible pitch. I think there's no getting away from that as well. The passes were bobbling around. We couldn't really, whenever we were passing the ball like out wide and stuff, it kept being under hit and intercepted and all these different things. But you're a Premier League side. We're a professional team. They do this full time. We're playing against a team who are part timers. They're members of that team who work at Zara. They're construction workers, retail managers, all these different kind of things. So there's absolutely no excuse for not adjusting and adapting and making it easy for yourselves. And we struggled for large parts of that game. And if anything, right at the end, Tamworth could have won it. And it was a real hard watch. It was a hard slug throughout that 90 minutes. And we really struggled against them. They made it very, very difficult. They obviously put everything into it. It was their biggest game of their lives. And I obviously understand that. But you have to be able to show your quality through the game. We just didn't do that throughout the whole game, and it was really embarrassing, the lack of quality we had in that final third. It was embarrassing. Not being able to break down that Tamworth team was nothing short of embarrassing. But our quality did show in extra time. We ended up winning 3-0, and we can all breathe a big sigh of relief after that game because we're in the hat, and at times during that game that was in question, which is absolutely shocking. But at least we made it comfortable in extra time. We did end up winning 3-0. It did take that goal bundled into his own net by the Tamworth player to set the ball rolling, and it was the ugliest goal you're ever likely to see, albeit it came from a bit of a clever free kick routine from Pedro Porro. But it was an absolutely ugly goal. But thankfully, in extra time, it needed Son, Solanke and Decky to all come on and get that win, which is embarrassing enough in itself. But we got the job done, and that we can be a bit relieved for that.
But I want to say that the Tamworth players, Tamworth fans, all the management can be very proud in what they put on the pitch today, because they were really good, and they took us all the way. They could have even won the game right at the end of the 90 minutes, and they can hold their heads up with real pride today. They've taken a Premier League team to the wire in an FA Cup third round game. So big up to them. But from a Tottenham perspective, from what we've put in today, it really is nothing short of embarrassing. Timo Werner probably earns more in a week than most of these Tamworth players do in a year. That's the reality, or even all of them together in a year, which is crazy to think about. 160 grand a week. And he's putting in a stinker against Tamworth. And look, I don't want to pile just on Timo, because he wasn't the only one. Plenty of players. I thought Archie Gray didn't put in a great display today. Radu, Porro, Regulon. I mean, the only players, I think all of them pretty much put in poor performance today. It's like I'm just piling on Timo, but Timo should have done a lot better with the chance that he had. You know, that one-on-one, you've got to be slotting that in the bottom corner. You've got to be going around the keeper. You've got to be doing something better. And the quality from Spurs was just so off it. And I felt like physically we was just so off it as well. And it's just like carries on with that theme that I keep saying about how we get ourselves up for the big games. And when these smaller games come around, we're just not up for it. It's like we walk on the pitch thinking that we've already won the game. And how many kind of examples are there going to be of that throughout the years supporting Tottenham Hotspur? Another one today. Well, even though we did win the game, it's just an embarrassing way to win it.
Absolutely. Going to extra time, especially we've got a North London derby coming up on Wednesday. We could have really done with resting all our important players and getting as much rest in them as possible. And because of that performance, we were unable to. We had to actually bring on Son. Solanke ended up playing an hour because he came on with half an hour to go and played extra time as well. So he ended up playing an hour. Decky had to play half an hour. So it really is might hurt us on Wednesday, the fact that we had to use these players and we're not keeping them fresh. And it's really disgraceful that we, were that bad against a Tamworth team who are currently 15th in their league, in the National League. They're favourites to go down this season, albeit they're doing all right for themselves. They're giving themselves a fighting chance. But these guys train 2 or 3 times a week. Our players, their whole life, their career revolves around football. They're professionals, and it's ridiculous that. It was ridiculous that we made it so hard for ourselves. And look, I'm glad to see the back of this game. I thought it was absolutely shocking throughout most of it. It was just such a hard watch, and the fact that it was that close is embarrassing. But we did get the job done. We did win 3-0. It was by a 3-goal margin, and we move on and we put this game to the back of our minds. But it's just hard to kind of defend that team after that 90-minute performance.